The ongoing drama between DDG and Halle Bailey has reached an entirely new level of intensity, and it's honestly one of the most heartbreaking and complex stories in the celebrity world right now. What started as a quiet separation has now escalated into a full-blown custody battle, court filings, disturbing allegations, and leaked personal messages that have the internet in a frenzy. But beyond the headlines, this is also a conversation about mental health, postpartum struggles, betrayal, and what happens when two people who once loved each other now find themselves in a bitter and very public fight, right in front of the world. So let's start with what kicked everything off most recently. Halle Bailey, known to many for her role in The Little Mermaid and as one half of the singing duo Chloe x Halle, filed a restraining order against her ex and father of her child, DDG. That move alone shocked fans and sparked a lot of concern, especially since the couple had just welcomed their baby boy, Halo, not long before. Along with the restraining order, Halle also requested sole custody of Halo, which the judge granted. That means, at least for now, she has full legal and physical custody of their son. Halle also had plans to travel to Italy for 2 months to film, and she wanted to take her baby with her, a decision that, from a mother's standpoint, makes complete sense. However, DDG responded by filing an emergency motion to prevent her from leaving the country with their child. He's essentially arguing that removing the baby from the U.S. would not be in Halle's best interest and that Halle is not mentally stable enough to be the sole caregiver. In that emergency filing, DDG made several serious allegations about Halle's mental state and past behavior. One of the most shocking claims is that during her pregnancy, Halle allegedly attempted to terminate the pregnancy without telling him. He's also claiming that she left their home with a gun and disappeared for a while, which understandably raised alarms for him. According to DDG, he later found her standing outside holding the firearm, and this happened while she was still pregnant with Halo. These claims, if true, are deeply concerning and would likely be used as a basis for him to request custody or supervised visitation. But at the same time, many are questioning the timing and intention behind these allegations, especially since they are surfacing only after Halle received sole custody and attempted to travel for work. It gets even heavier. DDG included text messages in his court documents that paint a picture of a woman in deep emotional pain, some of which appeared to be written during a postpartum mental health crisis. The messages, reportedly sent about 2 months after Halo was born, show Halle in a clearly distressed state. One of the most alarming messages reads, "This is proof you leave me hanging as a mother. You don't step up when I need you. I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with LA in Mexico. I'm going to annul of myself tonight. My son will not be around for it. I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom." In response, DDG appears dismissive at first, replying, "I can't believe you're acting like this," to which Halle responds with further accusations and increasingly alarming language. She reportedly writes, "Answer the effing phone. I'm one to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing, Daryl, that's it." Later she says, "I'm calling for help. I have a you-know-what." DDG replies, expressing fear that she took his gun and warns, "That you-know-what has no safety. That's not something to play with." This part of the situation has triggered a massive reaction online, with many people expressing empathy toward Halle and recognizing the symptoms of postpartum depression in the texts. It's a condition that affects many women after childbirth, and it's often intensified by feelings of isolation, lack of support, and relationship stress. Given the timing, just 2 months postpartum, and the emotional devastation that discovering infidelity can cause, it's not hard to see how Halle might have been spiraling. In one message, she even references Mother's Day, saying she hoped to spend it with her child, but now feels broken and betrayed. The combination of heartbreak, hormones, and emotional neglect is something a lot of women, especially new mothers, can relate to. Many commenters online pointed out that instead of supporting her, DDG may have used those moments of vulnerability to paint her as unfit. And let's not forget that Halle's side of the story also includes serious accusations. In the original restraining order filing, she alleged that DDG slammed her head into a steering wheel during an argument. DDG, of course, has denied this and claimed that what actually happened was very different. According to him, he was picking up Halo for his visitation when Halle jumped into the backseat of his car and started demanding they come up with a parenting schedule. He says she got agitated, leaned over to hit him from the back, and accidentally hit her own head against the wheel. DDG also claims he received cuts on his hands during the incident and submitted pictures as proof. Again, it's her word against his, and without full context, it's hard to know exactly what happened. But both versions paint a picture of a deeply dysfunctional and potentially volatile relationship. Online reaction has been deeply divided, but many people, especially women and mothers, are rallying behind Hal. Some say this whole situation sounds like a classic case of a man using a woman's emotional breakdown against her, especially one caused by his own betrayal. The messages from Hal seem like a cry for help more than anything, and people are saying that doesn't make her a bad mom. It makes her a hurting person who needed support and compassion. One commenter said, "So many of us have experienced this type of pain and have had these same reactions. This doesn't prove she's a bad mom." Another added, "He just wants to embarrass her. He doesn't care about that baby any more than before. She could have had postpartum and he ignored it because he cheated. This proves nothing. She is a new mom begging for help and he is not seeing it." The sad part is, none of this seems to be focused on what should really matter most, the baby. Halo is 1 year old, and he's being pulled into the middle of this public mess between his parents. Whether DDG's concerns are coming from a genuine place or being used to gain leverage in court, it's clear that both sides are hurting, and that pain is bleeding into their co-parenting situation. It's a reminder that emotional trauma, postpartum struggles, and unresolved conflict can explode into public warfare when fame, betrayal, and custody are all involved. At the end of the day, we're looking at a deeply painful situation involving 2 young parents, 1 small child, and a whole lot of unresolved emotional damage. DDG says Hal was unstable and that she made threats involving their son. Hal says DDG was abusive and unsupportive. And in the middle of it all is a baby who needs love, protection, and peace. As fans and observers, we should approach this with compassion, not judgment. These are real people going through a real crisis, and while it's easy to comment from the sidelines, the truth is always more complicated than what we see online. So now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this situation? Do you believe DDG is acting out of real concern, or is he trying to shift blame and control the narrative? Is Hal being unfairly labeled based on emotional messages that stemmed from a mental health struggle? Or is this just a case of 2 people who weren't ready for parenthood getting lost in their own pain? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your perspectives on this. As always, thank you so much for watching.